Welcome. You're watching the India Development Debate. I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Should doctors ever go on strike, no matter what the situation? If your answer is no, then let me put it to you in another way. Can doctors be expected to perform their duty in an environment where their lives and safety is under threat? Would you? That, in a nutshell, is at the heart of the debate raging across the country after doctors in many parts of India have gone on strike. The whole crisis, of course, is unfolding in the backdrop of a fierce political fight on right now in West Bengal, and Kolkata is where it all started. Take a look.
The strike by junior doctors in West Bengal has snowballed into a pan-India agitation as it entered its fourth day. Doctors in at least 6 cities including Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore boycotted work to express solidarity with their West Bengal counterparts, crippling healthcare services in various parts of the country. To make matters worse, for thousands of patients, the Indian Medical Association has announced a nationwide strike on Monday.
Whatever they have demanded are very minor demands. Protests on Saturday and Sunday are only black badges. Wherever the form of non-violent form of protest is going on will go on. And on Monday 24 hours, 6 a.m. to the next morning 6 a.m.
The protests in Kolkata, which started on Monday, night after 2 junior doctors were attacked by relatives of a patient who died during treatment, has so far led to over 550 doctors submitting their resignations. The Calcutta High Court refused to intervene but did rap the Mamata Banerjee government on the knuckles, asking the state to start negotiations. The West Bengal CM, meanwhile, has called the protest a part of political conspiracy. So far, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's attempts to order striking doctors to work have failed and in fact backfired. Doctors are demanding security from relatives of patients in case of failed treatments. As the crisis spreads, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan met with striking doctors in the capital, asking them to return to work.
मैंने डॉक्टरों को आश्वासन दिया है कि उनके लिए अस्पतालों में सेफ एनवायरनमेंट, सुरक्षित वातावरण देने के लिए और निरंतरता के साथ वो वहाँ पर बना रहे, इसके लिए सरकारी स्तर पर जो भी कुछ प्रयास हो सकते हैं और उसमें अगर कोई कानूनी प्रयासों की भी आवश्यकता है तो उनको भी सुदृढ़ करने की कोशिश भारत सरकार करेगी.
Doctors have borne the brunt of unhappy relatives in the past. But fueled by a political fight, the current crisis has snowballed to larger proportions. Reports suggest one newborn has lost its life to the ongoing stir. The question is, who takes responsibility for the patients whose lives are at peril? And who will guarantee the safety of doctors? Watch the debate for more.
So the question is, are doctors justified in going to strike in a show of solidarity with their colleagues? Has the Mamata Banerjee government failed at containing the crisis? Have most governments failed in providing protection to doctors? And is there a serious political fallout of the doctor strike with implications for Mamata Banerjee and the BJP? Joining us to speak on this and more now are Dr. R.V. Asokan, Secretary General of the Indian Medical Association. We're speaking today with Jagdish Rao, PP, Associate Professor at the Department of Forensic Medicine, KMC, Mangalore. Shivaji Pratim Basu, Political Analyst, joining us from Kolkata. And Sanjeev Srivastav, Political Commentator. Welcome to all of you and thank you for speaking with us today. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ashokan, on why are doctors all over the country going on strike, even if it is largely in OPD and not in critical care or emergency. It is a huge nuisance and inconvenience to patients. Is there no other way to make your voice heard?
I am Dr. R.V. Ashokan, General Secretary of Indian Medical Association.
Yes. Yes, please go ahead and answer the question.
The
Mr.
doctors in India
Yes.
have been continuously been harassed for the past few decades in violence in hospitals, especially the young graduates, the residents who are the frontiers of the point of care, and enough is enough. Every doctor has some sort of has faced some violence in his professional career, and the situation has come to a stage where it cannot be borne any longer. Many protests have been held in the past. In 2015, an interministerial committee sat on the same issue, gave a recommendation to pass a central act. 19 states have passed an act to protect the hospitals and doctors, but a central act is not in place. The act has get into the Indian Penal Code. So, our main demand is for enactment of a central act so that this menace could be stopped forever. The second demand is resolution of the crisis in West Bengal by the state government of West Bengal. So, all the doctors in India have been requested by Indian Medical Association to offer only emergency and casualty services for 24 hours on Monday 16th of June.
Mr. Ashokan, yes, I'm well aware of the situation and your demands. My question to you, sir, is that is it fair to have patients without availability to even OPD? Is there no other way to make your demands rather than go on strike? Is there a case for doctors who provide an essential service to go on strike?
I think it is all before the public. We have come several times before the public, several times before the government, and there is just no option left to bring it to the attention of the government and the society that providing security in hospitals in civil times is in peace times is the duty of the government. Any violence, especially mob violence in a hospital, is a failure of law and order situation.
I want to bring in Dr. Jagdish Rao, who is joining us in on the debate. Dr. Rao, how do you look at the current situation? Is it, a reaction which, of course, this is a long-standing issue, but the fact that doctors' associations across the country are now going on strike, do you think it's building into the political narrative that the story is taking?
Actually, the entire situation should not be taken into a political view. This, as sir has rightly pointed out, this is a long-standing issue. The government has not taken it very seriously. And there are a series of assaults going on in different places on different doctors. Because one thing we should understand, that doctors are not magical power. They are using only the scientific knowledge in order to save the life of the patient. And no doctor will be negligent in handling the patient. He will be doing utmost services to his utmost event in order to save the life of the patient. And because of this, several representation by different IMA associations of different states and even the national board, the government is not taking any action in order to provide the security to the doctors. And the legal sections are very, very weak regarding the protection of the doctors.
Yes, but Mr. Rao, yes. But Mr. Rao, is it justified for doctors all across the nation to go on strike when patients' lives could be at peril?
Absolutely no. And because we have taken the oath from the Hippocratic oath that definitely the services will be rendered. And there will be a minimal staff also to assist the emergency services. Emergency services will be open, actually. That only the OPD services, I think, is been a little bit hampered just to make the government hear our plea and to provide the security to the doctors.
Okay, absolutely. Dr. Ashokan, let me come to you once more. Do you think that a political color has been given to this entire agitation? Because it, of course, started in West Bengal, the handling of the situation or the mishandling of the situation is being criticized. But now for doctors' associations across the country, and like you said, to demand that the chief minister comes and speaks to the doctor and the doctors' associations which are striking. Do you think that this is giving the entire protest a political twist?
So far as in our perspective, from inside the Indian Medical Association, there is no political color from our side. Our objectives are very simple. The West Bengal government can accept the demands which are simple and straightforward, and there will end the crisis. And similarly, a formal assurance, a written formal assurance from the government of India regarding the central act will be suffice to satisfy the doctors, and we will give a reasonable time for the parliament to enact a law against violence.
Okay, I'm going to come back to my basic question again, Mr. Ashokan, and as Dr. Rao also said that you're keeping emergency services on, but you're not looking at OPD. Don't you think that patients will suffer if they are in a situation where there is no doctor to gauge whether they need further medical treatment? After all, these first stops of treatment are also the place where patients can gauge whether they have a larger issue. Do you think it's fair to go on strike and stop and cease services?
I think there has been a huge public support in West Bengal
Yeah.
regarding the strike of the doctors, that the doctors are on the right side and they are demanding justice and asking for security in workplace is a basic right of any citizen, leave alone doctors. Any citizen is entitled to security of life. So, the state has to enact adequate security measures and legislations to protect the safety of hospitals, declare hospitals as safe zones with structured safety provisions like CCTVs, like restriction of entry, like provision of adequate security personnel, reducing the number of patients that a doctor sees, so that the doctor can communicate better with the patient, so that the expectations will not go very high, and a professional counseling in all the wards in the medical colleges would certainly help. All these provisions should go into the law that we are expecting to be enacted by the central government.
Okay, I'm going to come to Mr. Basu, who's joining us from Kolkata this evening. Mr. Basu, explain to us what the situation is in Kolkata. Mamata Banerjee, of course, is sticking to her guns. She was seen speaking today as well and saying that this is sort of a conspiracy against her, and she's got a rap from the Kolkata High Court as well, from the Calcutta High Court. Do you think there has been a mismanagement on the part of the West Bengal government? Why has the situation spiraled out of control so quickly?
Okay, the situation is very annoying here. Of course, there is some deficit during the dialogues. The dialogues between the government and the protesting the doctor should be there. It should continue. Unfortunately, due to some miscommunication or some reaction from the Honorable Chief Minister, the things got worsened. Okay, but still, but we have to also, as you are already speaking to the eminent doctors just now, that it's a matter of life and death. And who are going to the government hospitals, we have to remember, it's not of the persons of the class who can buy medical facilities or medical treatments in private hospitals. They are these people, they come from very, very, poor, these people, poor background, rural people, they are coming to the cities and so in city and district towns, hospitals for treatment. So these people, and I saw on television that one woman of advanced pregnancy, she cannot just sit very calm but no one is admitting her. in West Bengal, I want to differ that even emergency services in many hospitals are off now. They have been shut down. So it is also the matter of life and death of the common people. The doctor just now, he has reminded us of the Hippocrates oath and everything. So, but that should be also you protest, but at the same time there should be parallelly you can make your protest hard, and at the same time there should be basic minimum services, health services to the common masses who cannot buy high priced treatments in private hospitals. So that is there. So the situation, and of course there is a political angle. Now the BJP leader Mukul Rai is now telling the press that this is is something, it is beyond the control of now the state has gone beyond the control of the chief minister.
Mr. Basu, we will come to the political angle, but before that, I just want to take on what you said, and let me get Dr. Rao in here. Now, Mr. Basu is in Kolkata, and he's talking about a situation where a pregnant woman was unattended. There is a news report that a one-day-old baby may have lost its life thanks to the strike. In such a situation, and of course, Dr. Ashokan is right when he says there is public support. When we are seeing the ghastly pictures of how doctors are attacked, there is public support saying save the saviors. But on the other hand, what is the fault of the patients who are caught in this crossfire? Dr. Rao.
I'm listening to this. Let me respond. There is absolutely no fault on the part of the patient here. Here is you should think in a broader angle. As the learned IMA members over there and the doctors have expressed their concern and saying that the public's in their support. And we really respect the life of the patient. And as I really told you in the Hippocratic oath also, we mentioned that life of the patient is the first priority. And if the doctor's life is at stake, if the government is not able to hear the problems what the doctors are facing, then this is the task what we try to help us in this way. Because prolonged waiting for a longer time, and this has resulted in the bust in the mind of the doctors. That if we again do it a silent protest, I think one more time, that the law will not listen to us, the government will not listen to the demands, because the demands are very, very basic. Demands are very basic to protect the life of the doctor, to make the laws very stringent, and to make to bind as per the rules of the Constitution. That's all.
That is fine,
Really
but the issue is, and Dr. Ashokan, I want to get your response as well to what Mr. Basu has said a little while earlier and what he's seeing in West Bengal. Of course, there are news reports as well about the pregnant woman who was denied treatment, small baby who may have lost its life because of this strike. There may be other patients who are suffering. When you've taken an oath, Dr. Ashokan, where do you find the middle ground? Is there no other way that this could have happened? Because like you said, even the Union Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, spoke to doctors today, assured them of help, and yet the strike continues. Do you think this was the time to call it off?
Not yet. That moment has not arrived. I was in Calcutta with the residents for the whole day yesterday, and they have opened the emergency services and the casualties are being attended to. The Union Health Minister also has indicated that the central government is willing to enact a central law on this, and he has expressed his opinion. We are thankful to him, but we will expect a formal intention to be declared in a written communication. I think that much of a response we would expect from government of West Bengal, which will satisfy the residents who have been badly handled and are fighting a struggle. The point that you have raised, the point has to be answered by the state government. We are citizens of the country, the patients are also the citizens of the country. We cannot answer regarding what you have said. It is the responsibility, both the security of the doctors as well as the health of the patients is the responsibility of the state government, for which they have taken both under the constitution. So, we are only asking them to discharge their constitutional responsibility.
Okay, I want to bring in Sanjeev Srivastava over here for the big picture, and we, unfortunately, this should not be about politics. This is a basic issue which we faced many times over. Just to tell you that yes, there is a law enacted in 18 states, but yet incidents also take place in these states. Can the doctors go on strike? If not, can they really face peril to their health? But Sanjeev, it's become about more than that, isn't it? Mamata Banerjee has found herself in a precarious position, perception-wise. It seems like she's not been able to handle this crisis, and it has now spread all over the country.
So, Tamanna, what's happening is that a doctor's strike, junior doctor's strike, is about as common as anything else. It happens every couple of years in different states, and it has happened again in Bengal. So, that's something which is normal, and this debate about whether they should go on strike or not, what about the patients, this is also a pretty old debate. What is different this time are two things. One, last few years, doctors have started going, especially junior doctors and government hospital doctors, even private hospital doctors, have started raising concern about their security. Because patients demand, patients believe that once they go to the hospital, they should be cured and everybody should return safe and healthy, and they should be treated well, which is a just thing. But the doctors are being physically assaulted, and a lot of doctor friends of mine have actually reduced practices, just closed their indoor admissions, just running outdoor activities and things like that. So that's something new, and even more new is the fact that for the first time a doctor's strike has become a political sparring issue between a major opposition party, i.e. the TMC, and the governing party at the center, which is the BJP. And the political, what has happened is that West Bengal politics is the new stadium for this doctor's politics. So we have seen a face-off between TMC and BJP over a lot of issues in the last few weeks and months. Now this doctor's strike is the latest issue on which the two are targeting each other. And finally, Mamata is not coming off better off again in this fight, like she has come off the worst in recent exchanges with the BJP in West Bengal. So that's the big picture.
No, absolutely. Mr. Basu, I want you to come in on the political angle of it as well, where it's seeming like Mamata Banerjee, who has, a very aggressive stance politically, it's worked for her in the past, but it seems to be backfiring here because the average Indian citizen outside West Bengal as well, when they're looking at it, they are seeing, a lack of sympathy towards doctors who've been bashed up. And then TMC cadre landing up at the hospital has made her look much worse. Do you think she's sort of painted herself into a corner?
Yes, to a great extent, you are right. What I think personally that she just gave an ultimatum of come back to work within 2 hours, or I will give you these 2 hours. That is also a kind of, the doctors also felt that was a kind of a threat. But see, that is the failure of the dialoguing process of the government. But as Mr. Srivastava was also speaking just now about this, that the state has become a new battleground for everything, every walks of life. Someday after you will, I belong to a university. I am a professor there, so I fear that my place also, my university also will be targeted, and now education will be another new field. So now this, now the BJP also, they are also everyone, every single person, CPIM person, BJP, TMC is mishandling is there, very evident. But all other people, they are also, most of these parties, they are also just trying to get political gains out of this. And so, some of these persons have already appealed to Mr. Ajit Doval, at the center. So something is going, this is something unprecedented. Well, this is, if it is a question of security, everyone understands, and the government should provide it also, provide for the doctors. But at the same time, how can you deny basic treatments? And Arjikor at
Let me turn, but let me turn it around and ask you, Mr. Basu, if you were in a situation where your life was in danger, would you continue to stand there and provide treatment, and especially in OPD services? You would possibly say as well that I have to look out for myself.
Absolutely. Yes. I absolutely agree with the worries of the doctor that security must be provided. Okay, they have made this issue now it is nationwide. Now international doctors community, they are also sympathizing with these causes. So we know. But have you heard in anywhere in the world the doctors are? You can make a very symbolic kind of one-day protest or half-day protest, but it is going on. If this go on, the medical infrastructure and medical facilities of the state will collapse. I don't know about the other parts of India what will happen if they continue. But this is something unprecedented. We have not found anywhere in what is the tipping point. The tipping point, the persons who did this act of violence, 5 of them have been arrested under non-bailable provision in the of Indian Penal Code. So I know that, but even then, what is my suggestion to my dear beloved young junior doctors? My suggestion, this is not an advice, just a suggestion. Just go on protesting, but also some of a section of people can go on protesting, but at least the basic minimum facilities, services should be restored.
Okay, let me take that to Dr. Ashokan. Mr. Ashokan, the suggestion here is that you can protest, but then let some of you at least look at patients. Don't shut it off completely. The other point that Mr. Basu is making over here, that those who perpetrated the violence on 10th of June and very illegally assaulted junior doctors, they have been arrested. The law is taking its own course. Why not let that follow a process?
I think this is a failure of the dialogue process from the government of West Bengal. And if the government of West Bengal has the political will to settle the issue, I think the residents will respond appropriately. The response has hardened because of the way that the doctors perhaps perceive the dignity of the medical profession has been hurt. And the all India wise, we are looking at a structured response from the governments to solve this problem forever, so that we do not face the learned friend said that junior doctors strikes are very common, but he did not say that the violence is so common that the junior doctors are responding. That is a correct statement. So, as a society, as a nation, we have to keep our hospitals safe. The safety of hospital will translate into the safety of the doctors. Safety of doctors will definitely be implemented for better patient care and patient safety. It will translate into it. One flows from the other. I think we cannot reverse that. We cannot go from the other end and try to settle it. It is not done. We have to look at the doctor's end, provide security, reduce his workload, allow that the doctor is able to communicate well, establish a doctor-patient relationship. It's a bit more complicated than a straightforward, simple solution of providing security.
Okay, Sanjeev Srivastava is responding to a point that you made earlier, that junior doctor strikes have become very common, and you're right, they have. But the fact is that they've become common because violence is also taking place, and this is what has made people sit up and take notice.
True. See, that is an issue which needs to be addressed separately as to how the speaker before me, the panelist before me was saying that one thing leads to other, that if there is better working conditions, better security for doctors, that would mean more secure and better hospitals, and that would mean better patient care. What is different this time is, of course, this demand for security, which is not a very recent phenomena. It is there for the last about 5, 7, 8 years. This trend has gained momentum, where the patients' attendants have increasingly become quite hostile and volatile and violent towards doctors if they don't like how they are being treated. Not that doctors are always clean, but the most important and significant thing in this strike is that Mamata Banerjee went to the striking doctors as if they were some kind of a BJP delegation, and the entire national media, if you may, and the political spectrum is treating the doctor strike as if they are supporting the doctor strike vis-a-vis TMC and Mamata Banerjee. So that is why this issue is more like a political football. The real issue has already receded into the background. The important thing is that, see, governance should prevail. Politics has a different place. Governance is a different place.
Absolutely.
And let us not confuse everything. Like one of the panelists was saying, the next battleground may be universities and colleges. The thing is, it's a national issue. We need to address it in that spirit. And again, Mamata should have taken the lead when she went to meet the striking doctors. She cannot start fighting and arguing with them as if they are some opposition delegation.
Yeah.
They are her state doctors, her state hospitals, and the opposition, which in this case is BJP and others. They can't start behaving as if they are representing the doctors and the other side is not.
No, it's important for the doctors also not to let their very
blamed.
valid cause be hijacked. It's important for the doctors also not to let their very valid cause be hijacked. But on the other hand, Mr. Basu,
The doctors are the doctors. Tamanna, doctors are the most helpless lot. You cannot stop your agenda being hijacked, because the people who want to hijack are much more powerful than poor doctors.
and the fact is that if it helps get their voice across, then why won't they? But Mr. Basu, when you see statements like,
then nobody will be able to hijack their agenda.
Yeah, when you see statements like, Mamata Banerjee being quoted as saying that from now on only those who know Bengali should live in the state, then she's really, misplaying this entire thing politically. In terms of perception, the BJP's leaps and bounds ahead. They're setting the agenda, and Mamata Banerjee is finding herself struggling to catch up.
Absolutely, I agree with what you have said, and I will say in this day of propaganda and with the use of all these WhatsApp and Twitter and everything, Mamata has lost the first round of that way. In fact, if we at all consider this as a battle, this battle of propaganda, she has lost. So I fortunately enough that what I have learned just now, that some of the very senior doctors and very respected doctors of the city, they have went to the Labanna. Labanna is the new secretary of Labanna, and they have met the chief minister. I think there will be some bridges between they want to build some bridge of dialogue between the administration and the doctors. And they are respected by both the doctors and also by the administration.
Yeah.
So I think some silver lining is coming.
Okay. Sanjeev Srivastava wants to come in. Sanjeev Srivastava, yes.
Tamanna, can I make a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make a very brief point, taking up from what you just said, that Mamata may have lost the battle of perception. And see, this raising the issue of Bengal for only Bengalis is a very dangerous trend, and she's playing very dangerous politics there. Does she want to be reduced to an Raj Thakkre's MMS for Bengal TMC? It may pay her political dividends, because if the politics in Bengal becomes Bengali speaking and Bangla people and those from outside, then TMC may gain some short-term advantage. But she is playing with fire. The problem is, if the BJP is trying to do it, polarize it between Hindus and Muslims, now she is trying to polarize it between Bangla and outside Bangla people. This is very dangerous cocktail, and both sides should somewhere pause and hold and see what they are doing. So the assembly elections is still 2 years away. Let's not destroy the fabric of the West Bengal and our polity in this kind of a manner.
No, absolutely. But, I want to come back to the question of whether the issue is being politicized. And Dr. Ashokan, you said very clearly that there's no politics in it. Is there a concern that political parties might hijack your issue, or are you happy that your issue is being heard no matter who rides on your coattails?
Well,
already
our
hijacked.
case is straightforward and simple. Whatever legitimate government, state or center, have only to perform their constitutional duty. We are not addressing political parties anywhere here. We are addressing our national government and the due government of West Bengal to redress our basic security issues. I don't think we are having a very straight. We suffer from we are a victim of perceptions as well. The image of the profession has taken a beating. So, always what we say many times is not being heard in the correct perspective, but here the issue is straightforward and simple.
No, absolutely. The issue should not be politicized at all. Unfortunately, it is, because the backdrop is a very bitter political fight in West Bengal, which we'll see only raging on. Mamata Banerjee right now seems to be sliding in the perception battle as the doctor strike spirals almost out of control. We hope there will be a solution very soon. I want to thank all of my guests. And before we take a break, just to point out that everyone's favorite political consultant, Prashant Kishore, has now signed on with the Trinamool Congress as well. Well, I hope this is not the advice he's dishing out to Mamata Banerjee right now. Very short break. On the other side, we talk about the budget session, the first parliament session after the Lok Sabha elections. The triple talaq bill, the Aadhaar amendment bill are among the few contentious ones which will be presented. We look at them more closely on the other side. Don't go away.